All right, today the plan is to summarize my snowblower. So goal is to get this ready to be stored because it's probably gonna be another 10, 11 months before I use it again. So what I don't wanna do is have certain things not be prepared for the storage. So let's get into it. All right, first off, I do wanna get the fuel out of here. I don't have too much in there. I want to get the fuel out of the tank. I don't have a siphon to do that, so what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to see if I can pull off the fuel hose here. I have access to that and see if it'll just drain the gas out. My goal is to hopefully catch it in the gas can and then just reuse it, but I don't know if I can get my gas can under there. So I'll figure that part out. So my current plan is to pull the hose off right here and then catch it into a funnel and have the funnel flow into the gas can. What could possibly go wrong? I'm not sure if this is going to work. All right, so the first thing is I need to take the clip back and get it out of the way. So use my clips and slide it back. All right, so the clip's out of the way. So in theory, when I pull the hose off, the fuel is gonna fall into this funnel. If I have everything lined up properly, it's gonna fall into this funnel, which then is gonna fall into the gas can. And then I need to pull the hose and put it into the funnel as well. So, let me show you what I mean. All right, so the plan is to pull it off here, put the hose into there, and then hopefully the gas is gonna pour out of the tank into the funnel and then put the hose into the funnel as well. So, not really sure if this is gonna work, but we're gonna go for it. Hopefully it does, and then I won't have to go buy a, oh, it's working. Oh, it worked. Barely. Oh. It appears to be working. It worked. Man, it was close to not going. You can see I didn't have much room of play there. So, starting to get to the end. All right. So the fuel tank is now empty. I'm now gonna slide this clip back up. Now it would have been easier to go get a siphon. Seemed like a lot of extra driving I didn't want to do. So clip's back on, it's all connected back up. Fuel tank is for the most part empty. At this point, I just need to take it outside and run it till it stalls out. So. All right, so for the next part here, I have to run it and let it run till it dies. So let's choke it and start it. All right, seems empty. All right, so now that it's empty when it comes to running it, I'm going to drain out the carburetor. So on this machine, I could take the screw off and take it off, but it actually has a little push fitting that'll actually let me drain it. So what I'm gonna do is go get a pair of gloves and push it in and just drain it out. All right, so I go under here and I push it, and you'll see whatever fuel is left inside there, and the carb is just gonna come out, which is not very much at this point. So, that should be it. So what I'm gonna do now is set the piston head up. And the way I do that is I just pull on the pull cord until there's tension, and that means the piston head should be up. So I don't wanna pull it all the way, but just enough that it tightens. Right about, that was too far, right there. So that should put it up in a good protected position. All right, just to make sure that everything is good, I am gonna take the carb cover off real fast. It doesn't take long to do, but I'm just gonna make sure the gas is all out of the carb, because if it sits there, it can gum up. So I'm gonna take it off and just make sure that all the fuel is out of it, clean it up real quick, and then put it right back on. So there's the screw. And I'll take the cover off, like that. So it's pretty good. Yeah, so what ends up happening over the sitting time is the fuel that sits in here thickens up, and what'll end up happening is you'll have the gumming of the fuel, which then when you go to start it the next year, it just doesn't start real well. So I'll clean this up real quick. There is a nice clean carburetor. Shouldn't have any problems. And you can see it has this little quick release drain plug, which is actually really nice. So it'll drain the fuel out at the end of the season. But for peace of mind, taking it off and just cleaning it real fast will make sure that guarantee this thing will start with no problems next year. So now one of the most important parts is this. The fuel gets injected through this thing. And so there's some little holes on here. So I don't know if it shows in the camera, but those holes, that hole goes all the way through and then comes in through the top. So you just want to make sure that that's cleaned out real well. So spray it with some brake cleaner, spray it with something, but you want to make sure the inside of that's cleaned out real well too. I'm gonna hit mine with a little bit of WD-40. Just watch it when you spray through. You come in there too quick, you'll get caked in it. So I'll take some air, just shoot it through there, make sure the holes aren't pointing at your face. Just shoot it out. That should be ready. So at this point, it's just a matter of screwing it back on. So here's the carburetor. So you'll see it's all cleaned up, the bolts back on and everything. So should be good to go for next year at this point. So that's all it takes to winterize your snowblower for the year. I know some people like to use that fuel stabilizer. I just feel better getting it all out of there. So took it all out. Should be good for next year at this point. So that's it. If you like what I'm up to, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like button. Other than that, till the next one, Suburbia Dad out.